Hey guys, Hector here with another American vlog, and I felt I should kind of talk about police in the US because I know that's always a huge issue in other countries. A lot of people ask me like, what's up with the police and what's up with all this news stories that I hear? And I kind of try and stay away from it because there is, a lot of, both sides can be right to an extent. And so I'm going to try and lay it out as best I can because, of course, there are some people that are 100% for the police. Everything the police do is 100% right. The police are always right. If they say something, they're right. And that's incorrect. Then there's another side that says the police are always wrong. The police are just, in it for the authority, and then they love pushing people around, and I just hate police, etc., etc. And that side is also wrong. And so a lot of talk is mostly with abuse from police. And yes, there are a number of police that do abuse people. I'm not going to talk about which race they abuse because that's a whole nother video. I'll talk about that and the whole Black Lives Matter type movement in another video if I remember. I should remember. But so it is a known issue that police in certain areas can be very abusive, and they get away with it because other police have their backs, and then they kind of just work with, the judges in the area or whatnot. And so they all have each other's back, and it's just kind of sucks like that. And so if you call out police brutality like this, I saw this great picture on Facebook. It says, why is it if you call out police brutality, you're automatically anti-police? But it's not the same with if you're beating children. If a parent is beating a child, are you automatically anti-parent? No, you're just against those child beaters, right? So if you're pointing out police brutality, you shouldn't get defensive and say, oh, you just hate police. We can point out the negative parts of certain things and say we need to fix this without saying all police suck or without saying all police are good. Like usual in most things, there's a good middle ground, but sometimes people just want to take one side or the other. And I have heard people say, well, if you hate police so much, then don't call them. I saw this other picture that said, call your local crackhead if you don't want to deal with police. But the thing is, those people usually don't call the police. Some people are so untrustworthy of the police, not just hateful, but they just don't trust them. They don't trust them so much that they won't call the police because they know the police will just make it worse, or they might not even show up, or they might show up like hours later. So oftentimes those people just buy guns themselves and say, hey, this will protect me and I'm just not going to deal with the police. And I have heard, a lot of gun rights activists or whatever say pretty much the same thing. They say you can't carry police in your back pocket all the time, so that's why I have a gun. And sometimes guns are useful. Sometimes guns make things worse. I've talked about guns a number of times in other videos, so I'm not going to go on that whole subject again. So basically, there's always a good middle ground, and not all police suck, not all police are evil, but there are a number of police out there that are very abusive, love to push around their power, and they have other policemen with them, or policewomen, if you want to be all PC about that have their backs, and it's usually their word against yours, and they usually get away with it. And if there is some sort of investigation, a lot of times the police just investigate themselves, sort of, and those people who are being investigated oftentimes just get paid vacation or paid leave or administrative leave or whatnot. So a lot of times the deck is stacked against a normal person when compared with the police. And we understand that police have tough jobs, but that's kind of the thing, you have this tough job, so you need to kind of be able to handle the tough job, and then we give you the prestige and the respect if you can handle it correctly. If you just have this tough job and you don't handle it correctly and you're abusing your power, you shouldn't have that respect. You don't earn that respect that way. And some police people just And supporters of police don't really see that. They just like, they're police now. You have to respect them. You have to do everything they say, even if it is unlawful. And it's just, it can get pretty bad sometimes. But I guess that's pretty much all I got to say about this particular subject. It is a pretty dark and somber subject, I suppose. Or I don't know if you want to call it somber. But I do want to talk about the whole Black Lives Matter movement, which is kind of tied with police, in another video. Maybe I'll talk about it next week or in 2 weeks or so. But yeah, as always, you can leave a comment and we can have a little discussion about this topic. And if you want to see some other American related topic, you can also leave a comment and say, hey, can you talk about this? I usually hear about this in my country and I'm not really sure about it, if it's true or whatnot. It doesn't have to be a serious subject. It can be like, hey, but not, hey, I hear all Americans are fat, because I've covered that a billion times. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about Americans being fat anymore. But I guess that's it. You can thumbs up this video if you liked it. And subscribe for more American related stuff. American related vlogs. And just some random stuff if I feel like it. So that's it. See you guys later.